today I'm going to share with you guys my Sambal tumis udang petai recipe, or in English, it's prawn sambal with stinky beans. Now I know it sounds a little bit funny and but the taste, it's absolutely amazing. Nothing funny about the taste, trust me. Now we're gonna start by blending some of the ingredients, but before we start, I'm just gonna run through the ingredients with you guys. So I've got here, of course, my prawns. I've got these beautiful tiger prawns that I've shelled and deveined, and I've got some stinky beans that's been halved. Now, stinky beans, it comes in a pod, and you want to remove it from the pod, and there's a layer of skin. So you want to remove that skin and slice it into halves, like this. And I've got my aromatics. I've got 1 large onion, 6 shallots. I'm using 4 candle nuts. Candle nuts is going to add a delicious, creamy, rich taste to my sambal. And of course, I've got some garlic. And for that extra umami taste, I've got my shrimp paste or belacan that I've roasted. And of course, I've got my dried chili paste, a little bit of coconut and carise or toasted blended coconut. You can see here, this is carise. I love this. This is one of the most important ingredients in rendang, but I like to add it a little bit in my sambal udang. I've got 2 lemongrass and 1 large yellow onion, which I'll finish it off with. And to give that nice tangy taste to my sambal, a little bit of tamarind. Now first, I'm gonna blend my ingredients. So I'm just gonna pop 6 shallots in. My red onion. I'm gonna add in my garlic and my candle nuts. Add a little bit of water, not too much, and we're gonna give this a good blending. Put this aside and start cooking. So I've heated my wok. I'm going to add a little bit of coconut oil. You can use regular vegetable oil. It's completely up to you. You just want to make sure the oil covers the bottom part of your wok, because you'll need a little bit more oil to cook your dried chili paste. Now once the oil is hot, I am going to add my dried chili paste. Now we're going to make sure all the liquid in the dried chili paste is completely dried up. If you don't saute your dried chili paste properly, it's going to leave this bitter, spicy taste, and that's not great. One of the ways to tell your dried chili paste is done is when it forms little clumps. So right now it still looks like a thick paste, so you want to see little clumps of chilies. So my chilies are done. You can see, this is what I mean by it'll turn into little clumps of chilies. So that is what we're looking for. Now I'm gonna add my belacan or my dried shrimp paste, and I'm gonna add my blended ingredients. So I'm gonna stir this for about 5 to 8 minutes, or until the color becomes bright red again. And you wanna do this at medium to high heat, and make sure you stir it constantly. Now that it's quite dry and thick, and it smells so good, and you can see the color is slightly darker now, I am going to add my bruised lemongrass. I'm going to add a little bit of water in my blender just now. And just pour everything in. So one of the important ingredients when making sambal is actually sugar. If you don't take sugar, don't worry, you can always replace it with honey. But you need a good amount of sweetness for you to sort of bring out the flavors of the chilies and all the other spices. Now it's time for me to add some sugar. So the sugar will caramelize together with the chilies and all the other spices, and it will give you a beautiful deep red in color sambal. I'm gonna go with 3 teaspoons first, but you can always add a little bit more if you feel like it's not enough. Now I'm gonna add my tamarind juice. I'm just gonna add my tamarind with a little bit of water. Using my hand, just squeeze the pulp of the tamarind. I'm gonna pour a little at a time first because I don't want it to be too sour. And if you buy ready-made dried chili paste, sometimes it can taste a little bit on the sour side because sometimes they'll add a little bit of tamarind or a little bit of salt, and that's gonna make the chili a little bit sour. So if you're using ready-made chili paste, make sure you try it first before adding your tamarind juice. I'm gonna add a little bit more sugar. So you really wanna taste the sweetness of the sugar in your sambal, because if not, you're just gonna taste the spiciness of the chilies. Even the smell will sort of change slightly after adding the sugar. And the color, you can see it's a deep red now. All right, so I'm gonna add my prawns now. I'm gonna add my stinky beans. So now I'm gonna mix it. Now you don't want to cook the prawns for too long because overcooked prawns will be a little bit rubbery. And now I'm gonna add my curry set or my toasted ground coconut. Just about a teaspoon, not too much, and a little bit of coconut milk. Just to finish it off with. Give it a good mix. Oof, it smells so delicious. So my prawns is gonna take about 5 minutes to cook. I'm gonna slice my onion. I'm gonna slice it into onion rings. I'm gonna turn off the heat and add my onion rings. Now the onion rings, you want it still slightly crunchy when serving this dish. It's gonna add this beautiful sweetness and texture to this prawn sambal. And this is done. So you can serve this with a hot bowl of steamed rice or with some bread. Now I love it with both. I hope you'll try this recipe, and when you do, please share your pictures and videos with me. Selamat makan guys!